another confession to make. I'm your fool. Everyone's got the chains to break, holding you. Will you bother resist or be abused? Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you? Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you? Are you gone and on to someone new? I needed somewhere to hang my head without your news. You gave me something that I didn't have, but had no use. I was too weak to give in, too strong to lose. My heart is under arrest again, but I break loose. My head is giving me life or death, but I can't choose. I swear I'll never be there. I refuse. Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you? Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you? Has someone taken your faith? It's real. The pain you feel, you trust, you must confess. Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you? Has someone taken your faith? It's real. The pain you feel, the life, the love you die to heal, the hope that stops the broken heart. You trust, you must confess. Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you? Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you? I've got another confession, my friend. I'm no fool. I'm getting tired of starting again somewhere new. Were you born to resist or be abused? I swear I'll never be there. I refuse. Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you? Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you? Has someone taken your faith? It's real. The pain you feel, you trust, you must confess. Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you?
I don't wanna be the girl that laughs the loudest, or the girl who never wants to be alone. I don't wanna be that call at 4 o'clock in the morning, 'cause I'm the only one you know in the world that won't be home. Sun is blinding. I stayed up again. Oh, trying to find the you that you once had. I've heard myself cry never again, broken down in agony and just trying to find a bed. Oh. I'm safe up high, nothing can touch me. Why do I feel this party's over? Feel this party's over. No pain inside, you're like perfection. But how do I feel this good somehow? Feel this good somehow. I'm safe up high, nothing can touch me. Why do I feel this party's over? No pain inside, you're like perfection. But how do I feel this good sober? How do I feel this good sober?
They say everything happens for a reason. Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change. And in the bad times I fear myself. They say everything happens for a reason. Can someone help me find the reason why? How am I
Will you all please be
supposed
upstanding?
to live without you? How am I supposed to say goodbye? Oh, I'd give anything to see your face, to ask you all about your day, or hear your footsteps coming down the stairs. I'd give anything to see you smile, to sit and talk a little while. I don't know, it just doesn't seem fair. Oh, you shouldn't have to say goodbye or have someone to miss. You shouldn't have to watch them go or blow a final kiss. You shouldn't have to lose someone. I shouldn't have to write this song. These words should never pass my lips. This song should not exist. I'm sorry for the times that I was busy, for the seconds and the hours spent apart. You know I always felt much better with you near me, and I promise that I'll keep you in my heart. I'd give anything to hear you speak, to tell you what you meant to me. I don't know, it just doesn't seem fair. Oh, you shouldn't have to say goodbye or have someone to miss. You shouldn't have to watch them go or blow a final kiss. ever pass my lips, and this song should not exist.
Had to go play that flaming song again. I'd only just fixed my makeup up. Now it's running again. Welcome everybody. My name's Wayne Tuxworth. I'll be officiating the service today. And on behalf of Carla, Jasmine, Madison, Joy, Ali, Siobhan, Chantel, the Collis family, partners, nephews and nieces, we welcome you all here to celebrate the life of Jason Noel Ferguson, or Ferg, as we all know him. My connections with Ferg go back to when we were teenagers. We're cousins, yet we'd never really hung around each other until our family took a milking job at Mella on the Heathorns farm, next door to the Ferguson family farm. Then a few years later, I snuck along to youth group and church at the New Life Centre. I had a reason to go along. And that's where Ferg and I really clicked. The genetics were well and truly thick. We loved nothing more than stirring up trouble and having a laugh, mostly at other people's expenses, but all in good fun. We played drums together, we rode motorbikes together, we watched footy and cricket together, all of which he was better than me at, except probably footy. And basically, spent most of our spare time hanging out. That is, until Carla came along and his priorities changed, which is probably fair enough. She's a fair bit better looking than me. There are so many memories I could share about Ferg. From the time he got me to film him doing a burnout in his VNSS Commodore until the tyres burst on Faze Lane, just to stir up the in-laws, to the time he turned up at my place late at night wanting a tow because he and the late and great Chris Quinn had got Quinny's brand new Magna hire car bogged in waist deep water at Bryant Park, filling it up with mud. Not to mention the shenanigans at Jason's Bucks night at my place, but the details of which will not be shared in this forum. If you like more details, come and see me later. I had the honour of being in Ferg and Carla's wedding, which I still use the commemorative key ring with Jason and Carla engraved on it to this day, almost 22 years later. There was never a dull moment with Ferg. His sense of humour, his wit, was quick and brilliant. He'd strike up a conversation with anyone and everyone and try to find common ground, which was evident with a work colleague I met by the name of Dan early at the graveside, who said that exact same thing. He said he and Ferg clicked straight away, become really close mates, and would always share a laugh and had all these little inside jokes that only they knew about. And we could all probably say that. There's little jokes that we all had with Ferg that only you and he know about. His talent and skill was almost unfair. The bloke could do anything. He was the complete package. A wise man once said to me, "I can build anything but a bank account." That was different for Ferg. He could build anything, but he could also build a bank account. He did well. With Carla, they travelled around Australia, worked hard, made amazing memories and friends all over. And I could talk for hours about my memories with Jason. But many others today have that responsibility and that honour also, so I don't want to take up too much time. I'm really only skimming the surface of the time I had with Jace. And in a moment you'll hear from his nearest and dearest as they come and share their memories of the times they had with them. And I'm sure we're going to hear way more stories. But before they do, I briefly want to touch on the reality that we face here. Today we celebrate the life of Jason, husband, son, father, cousin, uncle, valued work colleague, and all-round bloody good bloke. A friend to many. However, However, he is now gone. But it wasn't for lack of trying from his family and closest to him to support Jason over the years. To most, Jason was funny, easygoing, encouraging, and a kind man to be around. A real salt-of-the-earth type of guy. He had his battles like most of us, yet he tackled them head-on, being open and transparent with those he held most dear to him. Long, honest, and truthful conversations with those close in his closest circle were had on a regular basis, in times of need or just in passing. It's important that we're all reminded that none of us, Carla, the girls, family, close friends, that none of us are responsible for what has happened, and that we should not feel any guilt or regret thinking we could have done more to help. However, it's now up to each of us to carry our memories of Jason, to reflect on what he brought to our lives, the legacy he leaves behind, and more than anything, continue to support those affected the most. Carla, Jazz, Maddie, the Ferguson family, the Collis family and his closest friends. That in a week, a few months and years from now, when we've all moved on, take time to touch base and reminisce, laugh and cry, and make sure the memories of Jason, Ferg, live on for many more years to come. I want to take this opportunity to remind everyone here today that there is hope, that there is always hope. No matter what we've done, what we've been through, decisions and choices we've made, there is always hope that a situation can be redeemed, restored, and you can recover. We've all heard that time heals, and this is true, but that time is infinite. No one knows how long it's going to take. Jason made peace with his Lord and Saviour, and he highlighted the Bible verse John 3:16 as his comfort and peace. Confident in his salvation and place in heaven beside his dad, Leon. I'm going to read John 3:16 again. For this is the way God loved the world. He gave his one and only Son, so that everyone who believes in him will not perish, but have eternal life. Can we now pray together, please? Lord, we thank you for Jason. We thank you for the man he was, the life he had, the life he lived, the skills and the talents, the gifts that you blessed him with, and the gift he was to his family, to Carla, the girls, and those people around him. Thank you, Lord, that he fought the good fight. And Lord, we thank you now that he rests with Leon in heaven. Lord, we pray now for peace and hope for those left behind, Lord, that they'll know your comfort. And Lord, that we'll all be reminded to continue to support the family. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm now going to welcome Jason's older sister, Ali Wilson, to come and share the eulogy.
Good old Jace, keeping me on my toes right to the last minute. Please just bear with me one moment. Today, we gather to honour and celebrate the life of our truly irreplaceable Jason Noel Ferguson, affectionately more so known as Jace, Ferg, Fergalicious, or Uncle Bull to those near and dear. He was a dearly loved husband, father, son, brother, nephew, uncle and friend who sincerely brought endless joy, fun and laughter into our lives. For those of you who have not yet had the pleasure of meeting, As Tucky mentioned, my name is Ali Wilson and I had the utmost privilege of being Jason's big sister Earthside for just shy of 45 years. Jace was born in Smithton on the 22nd of May 1980. He was an adorable one and only son to Joy and Leon Ferguson, gifted with that infamous glint in his eye and cheeky grin right from birth. He grew up on our family farm located at Mella. He absolutely loved being on the land, chasing chooks on his Pee-wee 50, riding calves, tinkering with machinery, and generally being involved with the day-to-day activities of farming life. During his early years, most summer holidays were spent at Auntie Julie and Uncle Trevor's shack at Crayfish Creek. This was always the highlight of his summer, as Jace loved the kayaking, bodyboarding, and digging countless sand holes as the tide would roll in. Simply, he just enjoyed the opportunity to constantly hang out with his various cousins and family friends, particularly the Townsend and Shoemaker families who would also holiday there over the summer. Jace was a bright student, when he chose to apply himself, that was, a statement that was consistently mentioned in his school reports. Music was always a big part of Jason's life. Even at a young age, he would love to get up early on a Saturday morning and listen and watch the top 100 songs on Rage, enjoying a broad range of music styles and genres. He had a great sense of rhythm, and upon Dad being gifted a tin of Quality Street chocolates one birthday, Jace began to tap that metal tin with great delight, gradually adding Mum's various pots to the mix, wearing out more and more of Mum's wooden spoons to pursue his love of drumming. After many months of seeing Jace not tire of this obsession and the evidence of his natural gift and ability, Mum and Dad finally purchased Jace his very first pearl drum kit. We would practice and jam together for literally hours upon hours over many years, both perfecting our craft. Jace did receive drum lessons initially, yet due to his natural ability, most of his more complex and admired drumming skills were purely self-taught. He was simply a brilliant drummer and was truly a delight to play with in a band setting. Jace was happiest being outdoors and in nature, and as a kid he enjoyed family bike rides, playing cricket with the Irishtown Cricket Club, kayaking down the Arthur River and hitting the local beaches and tracks on his beloved Banshee with his mates, the late Quinny, Tucky and Cuz Drew Gray. Jace was certainly a boundary pusher in every aspect of his life, from statement t-shirts, the more the better, the more shocking the better I should say, to social media commentary which led to various restrictions and ultimately Facebook jail a time or three. This was certainly a trait established early in his childhood and teenage years as his banter, pranks and hobbies became more and more daring. He was known for constantly hiding neighbours' or uncles' hats, placing inappropriate items in guest beds and putting spuds up people's exhaust pipes, and honestly the list could just go on. Jason's last statement piece was a loud and proud Trump shirt. "Make America great again," we would often hear him say, and being a lover of hats, of course he naturally brought a cap to add to his extensive collection with the slogan on it. Immediately preceding the American election result last November, he was proudly wearing his Trump shirt around Queenstown. He was chatting to me on that particular day and mentioned how bitterly disappointed he was that it hadn't started any conversations or produced any comments with the locals. When I inquired about how he had come into possession of a Trump shirt so promptly, he proudly declared, "Oh, I purchased this months ago for this moment." He could never let a fine moment to stir the pot go to waste. I think the majority of us would easily describe Jace as honestly one of the biggest shit stirrers we've ever met. He certainly possessed a quick wit, the ability to tell a good story, alongside that booming voice, contagious laugh, that even when inappropriate, you just couldn't help but join in and giggle alongside him. Jace became a big brother at the ripe age of 12. When Mum and Dad shared the news that after a 12-year hiatus they were not only having a baby, yet twins, he was ecstatic, much to my surprise. He truly loved and adored his little twin sisters, always playing with them, showing affection, yet with a good measure of teasing and torment, as Jace was commonly known for. The following year, after becoming a big bro, our family enjoyed 11 months of studying and communal living on the North Island of New Zealand. We were located on the gorgeous Kapiti Coast, just a short drive from Wellington, whilst our parents had attended Bible college there. Throughout those 11 months, we extensively enjoyed exploring the North and South Island as a family, something we were rarely able to do whilst living and working on the farm. We would set off in our temporary LPG gassed-up white minivan, which was bursting at the seams with our family of 6, every long weekend or school holiday break. This year abroad was a rich experience for Jace, as he excelled in the practical subjects available at his college, such as wood and metal work, alongside the meaningful friendships he made. He simply loved meeting new people. Even at an early age, he had the ability to strike up a conversation, find common ground, and connect with people of various ages and walks of life, always injecting his humour, warmth, and ability to find a ripper of a nickname should he identify a particular trait or memory that was worthy of the spotlight. Upon returning to our family farm in Tassie, Jace became more interested in taking on more responsibilities on the farm around his school commitments and began paid work, milking the cows on weekends and being more productive during school holidays in order to save for his first car. I still distinctly remember the day Dad and Jace went car shopping. Mum's only request was them to return home with a safe, reliable and sensible first car. Dad simply smiled his cheeky grin and said, "We'll be right, Dotty." Later that afternoon, it was with much shock and disbelief that we heard the purr of a V8 motor engine as we looked out the window to see a metallic deep purple SS Tirana with eye-catching mag tyres driving very gingerly down our gravel driveway. It was immaculate, and Jason's smile couldn't have been any bigger if he tried. It had a novel red back spider gear knob, leather seats, and was simply a showstopper, and Jace certainly kept it in pristine condition. It was around this time that Jace was eyeing off a very pretty girl at our local church and youth group, Carla Collis. He used to mention her name to me a lot. She was only 15 when she really caught his eye, yet she seemed to love being outdoors and holidaying at Peg's Beach with her family. She had gorgeous long legs, beautiful wavy sandy hair, and apparently to Jace she looked like she had very kissable lips. Now, Carla was a little on the shy side back in her youth, so when Jace was attempting to strike up conversation in person with her, she seemed a little overwhelmed with Jason's larger-than-life personality and a little hesitant to engage with him whilst her friends were around. So one day, after Jace had had another failed attempt to have a good yarn and to make a good impression, he abruptly decided to just pick up the old telephone and simply give her a call. And from that moment on, their fate and forever love was sealed. During their dating years, every night without fail, Jace would quickly shower and get himself looking and smelling nice after milking the cows and drive into town to see Carla. It was the highlight of Carla's day to hear the rumble of his Tirana coming into town. Jace spent every summer at Peg's Beach with Carla and the immediate and extended Collis family. The two of them were inseparable. Right from the beginning of their relationship, Jace called Carla his princess, an endearing term which has remained within their 21 years of marriage and was also fondly used by our late father Leon. Unfortunately, just prior to Jace proposing to Carla, our dad unexpectedly received a cancer diagnosis and passed away just shy of 6 months later. Jace was extremely close with Dad, especially being an only son working together on the farm. This was purely a loss beyond comprehension to dear Jace. He had not only lost his dad, yet a true best mate, his number one encourager, confidant and mentor. From that day forward, over the past 22 years, Jace has carried the burden of a heartache beyond earthly repair. After purchasing their family home on Harrison Street, on October the 11th, 2003, Jason and Carla were finally married. They were settling in nice to married life, both working locally, yet Jace was increasingly growing itchy feet to explore the big island in their caravan together. With a heavy dose of encouragement and, let's be honest, a little push, Jason managed to get Carla on board with his grand plan of a working holiday adventure. So off they sailed on the Spirit of Tasmania in January 2007. Over the next 2 years, Jason and Carla embarked on a trip of a lifetime, one that Jace mentioned and reflected upon often, right up until his final moments. From Shepparton to Neil, up north to Brizzy, Mackay and Cairns, back down to Barmera, alongside a quick trip to the Red Centre, followed by a Nullarbor run to Perth, finally finishing their adventure back in Adelaide. During this time, they both enjoyed many various roles, from flipping peaches to forklift operating at the iconic SPC, plucking ducks amongst some of Jason's most enjoyable positions, working for Lion Nathan and Kingston Estate Wines, where his interest and appreciation in brewing and cellar operations truly took off. Naturally, Jace collected many new lifelong friends and memories along their journey. A standout story that Jace liked to recall was on their visit to Ayers Rock. They had embarked on a connections camping tour, glamping at the base of the majestic Red Rock, finishing their day off with some complimentary champagne with the tour group. The tour guide was astonished to see that this particular group had completely wiped them out of champagne, the only tour group ever to do so, much to Jason's pride. However, the pride was short-lived, as hours later he was not only throwing up inside the tent, yet just outside the tent's entrance, with poor Carla having to dodge the dingoes all night long as she was attempting to clean up his mess. The next morning, Jace was shocked to see that the dingoes had actually had quite the feast outside his tent during the middle of the night, mopping up his leftovers. Upon their return to Tasmania, they relocated to Launceston, and Jace was able to begin work locally with Lion Nathan, classically known as Boag's Brewery. Whilst initially working in operations, he soon saw the opportunity to engage in a mature age apprenticeship as a fitter, and to his delight was successful in his application. This opportunity was actually the catalyst for Jason's career. Jace always took great pride in his work. He certainly wasn't a half-assed kind of guy. He would always say, if you're going to do a job, do it properly. And he certainly lived up to that motto. However, as Jace was progressing through his apprenticeship, he was also embarking on his greatest ever lifelong achievement to date, becoming a dad. Jason's firstborn, Jasmine Lee Ferguson, was born on the 1st of August 2011. Later adorned with snowy white blonde hair just like her dad as a child. Jazzy and her dad share many interests, yet nothing as strong as their love and loyalty to the St Kilda Saints Football Club, something Jace also shared alongside with his own dad. A few years later, Madison Jade Ferguson completed their family on November the 2nd, 2014. Jace could not have been more content or happy than being surrounded by all of his beautiful girls. He was certainly a doting and hands-on father. He truly treasured quality time with each of his girls, individually or together as a family. Fishing at Stanley, tandem motorbike rides, teaching the girls how to ride the old Ag 100, taking the buggy out to the beach, walking their beloved Chessie dog, and the many after-school slushy dates when he collected the girls from school. Family holidays were always a must, big or small, as Jace loved to share new experiences and adventures with Carla and the girls. Corey, Clay and I were fortunate enough to share many annual family holidays with them, either interstate or in Tassie, alongside Mum, Vonnie, Liam, Chantel, Zach, Nancy, Eddie and Noah. We enjoyed so many amazing holidays together. Jace absolutely loved being surrounded by his loved ones, forever enjoying his sister's or mum's affectionate gestures, a good back scratch or massage, a generous head rub and even the occasional facial. Jace never said no to a little pampering. He was also very well known for his love of a good long soak in the tub. Jace was a proud son of his dear mother Joy. He wore the Ferguson name and the legacy of his dad's character with much pride. Jace was a dependable, sincere and loving brother, and a truly thoughtful and extremely entertaining uncle, who was adored by each and every one of his nieces and nephews. Our home, nestled in Mount Tambourine, was also his home as Jace flew in and out of work. He loved nothing more than kicking back on our deck, enjoying the view, naturally grabbing a Snapchat or two with a craft beer in his hand. Corey always joked that Jace always received the royal 5-star treatment when visiting us on the Mount, and the reality is he was right. I loved doting on my one and only bro, and it was always such a pleasure to spend time together. Also witnessing the beautiful bond that he and Clay shared, quite often watching bogged excavator videos way past Clay's bedtime and nattering over all things farming, mining and machines. One of Jazzy's favourite holiday memories with her dad was when they were actually visiting us in Queensland a few years ago. Maddie and Jazz were super keen to hit wet and wild, and Jace, being the big kid that he was certainly up for the task of keeping up with the girls. They were all geared up for their first slide of the day, the mighty Aqua Loop, whilst Carla, Clay and I were waiting patiently at the bottom. Well, we did get quite the unexpected show, as did the other patrons close by, when Jace came down that water tunnel at such great speed that the impact completely ripped his boardies in half from the front to the back, unbeknownst to Jace. And as he walks towards us, Carla was shocked to see that Jason's crown jewels were proudly on display for the world to see. We literally laughed about it for days, and the tale still brings a smile to our face this day. Later in life, Jace enjoyed go-kart racing, being a part of the pit crew for Mozzie Motorsport, and tearing up the local nature strips and 7 Mile Beach with his buggy, which was known to be flying a very controversial flag in a complex time in history. He also had a very fleeting appearance for the Forest Stanley Football Club, a 3-second career as an ambitious bull rider, hence the term Uncle Bull came to life and has stuck ever since. Yet thankfully to his immediate and extended family, Jace settled upon hiking as his favourite hobby of choice over the past few years. These hikes were certainly very therapeutic for Jace, and he loved sharing them with his family and friends. Recently, Carla, Jazzy and Maddie had spent a week with Jace in Queenstown. He was so excited to show them around his local working digs and loved being able to enjoy a hike around Mount Owen and kayaking at Strawn together. The majority of his more challenging hikes he shared with his cousin Marsha and mates, Mark McIntyre and Stephen Kay, literally hiking every single trail between Cradle Mountain Visitor Centre to Waterfall Valley, and their most recent hike only last month over the Pine Valley, Lake St Clair region. These trips together were full of belly laughs, meaningful conversation and special memories that will be treasured forever. As Jason's mining career took off and his Ferguson mechanical business was being established, alongside the busyness of family life, Jason and Carla cherished any rare moments alone, just the two of them. He's always been Carla's strength, her source of comfort, the one on whom she could depend on most in her life, her one true love. Jace took great pride in providing for his family and only ever wanted the best for his girls. He truly loved them with an everlasting sacrificial love. On behalf of Jason's family, we would like to take this moment to acknowledge and offer our deepest heartfelt gratitude for the devotion, care, and unconditional love and support Carla has provided Jace throughout their marriage and life together. We simply could not have asked for more than what you so generously gave, and we will be forever eternally thankful. And to Jasmine and Madison, thank you also for loving your dad so unconditionally, enriching his life with meaning and purpose, and for bringing his heart so much joy. It was his utmost privilege on this earth to be your father. And we trust and pray you will forever look upon your fond memories with your dad with plenty of smiles, love and gratitude. Jace, it's so incredibly hard to imagine this life without you. Our loss is truly beyond measure, yet we will forever cherish you in our hearts, alongside the insurmountable love we have for you and the precious memories you have left us. Thank you for being one of a kind, and thank you for blessing our world and each one represented here today with your unique presence. Now reunited with his dear Father in heaven and forever watching over us all in peace until we meet again.
That was amazing, Ali. Well done. I'm now going to read a tribute from Jason's younger sisters, Siobhan and Chantel. I'm honoured to share this tribute on behalf of Jason's twin sisters, Siobhan and Chantel. Growing up with an older brother like Jace was an unforgettable mix of love, laughter and a fair bit of torment. Anyone who spent time with Jace would have experienced his infectious sense of humour and his love for having a laugh. As his little sisters, we often found ourselves on the receiving end of his practical jokes. From the moment we could crawl, the mischief began, whether it was covering us with pegs from head to toe, chasing us with a vacuum cleaner, much to our disgust, or racing us around in Ali's bright yellow Barbie van at full speed. As we grew older, the jokes evolved, and Jace always knew exactly what to say to get a rise out of us. When we had reached our limits, he'd say, "I just can't stay mad at you," or "It gives me energy." Just imagine him saying that. Jason had a special talent for giving people nicknames, and many times they would stick. If you were close to him, he would have a special name allocated to you. In our family, it was Ali was Bauky, Vonnie was Fatty Von Von, and Shani became Stinky Binky. The tradition continued with his nieces and nephews, each receiving their own special nickname from Uncle Bull. Mooksy for Clay, Noodle for Nancy, Eduardo for Eddie, and Noisy Noe or Noe No Sleep for Noah. His love for nicknames was just one of the many ways he made every interaction memorable. Despite all the teasing, we knew we could always count on him when it mattered most. One day we were driving home from college in our blue Toyota Echo. In typical teen girl fashion, we ignored the fuel light that had been flashing for days. Just as we reached a steep hill, the car spluttered and died. We didn't want to call Mum and get a lecture, so we rang Jace instead. Without hesitation, he came to our rescue with a jerry can, making 2 trips to the petrol station to get us back on the road. More recently, Jace spent countless hours helping Vonnie and Liam modify their van for their travels around Australia. He always supported our pursuits with enthusiasm. Jace had unwavering love for his family, especially his wife Carla and his daughters Jazzy and Maddie. His bond with his sisters, their partners, nieces and nephews were equally as strong. Our tight-knit family unit was built on laughter, support and a deep sense of loyalty. Family meant everything to him, and he made sure to stay connected, no matter the distance. This was evident in many phone calls, birthday celebrations and trips that were shared. During a recent family trip to Mole Creek last Easter, Eddie, who takes after Uncle Bull in his love for all things machinery, was playing with a John Deere tractor at Ashgrove Cheese. He was happily pushing, twisting and turning every button, dial and lever that he could find. Suddenly, Eduardo went quiet and produced a gear knob that he'd accidentally snapped off the tractor. Jace thought it was hilarious and proceeded to pocket the broken gear knob as a memento of the trip. In 2021, Vonnie and her partner Liam secured work on a potato harvester at Yolla. During their 2 years based on the northwest coast, they were able to spend considerable time with Jace, Carla and the girls. Often Jace would spontaneously drop in for coffee on his way home from work, and weekends were spent exploring Circular Head and hiking at Rocky Cape. Vonnie enjoyed going on motorbike rides with Jace, often to Marrawar, with an obligatory stop at the pub for a beer. Other days were spent simply hanging out and watching the footy. Sharing life in this way is a highlight that Vonnie will always treasure. Jace was never one to shy away from a challenge. His willingness to try anything, paired with his varied life and work experiences, led him to establish his own successful business. He took immense pride in his work, always striving for excellence, and we couldn't be more prouder of his accomplishments. He was a man of many talents, as we've already heard, always ready to lend a hand, full of humour and mischievous in spirit. Jason was happiest in nature, had a love for speed, and was a cheerful bloke to many, a true larrikin indeed. He will always be one of a kind and the best brother we could have ever hoped for. Though his absence leaves a deep hole in our hearts, the bond we shared will never falter. We love and miss him more than words can express. Their memories created together will be cherished forever, and we'll hold on to them always. Jace, give Dad a hug up above for us. We know you've joined him now. Your life was a blessing to us. May you rest peacefully until we meet again. Thank you, Siobhan and Shani. We're now going to see part 1 of a photo montage.
You want me to be
lives lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, put under the pressure of walking in your shoes.
Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow.
Every step that I take is another mistake to you.
Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow.
I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you. Can't you see that you're smothering me, holding too tightly, afraid to lose control? 'Cause everything that you thought I would be is falling apart right in front of you.
Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow.
Every step that I take is another mistake to you.
Caught in the undertow, just caught in the undertow.
And every second I waste is more than I can take. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you. And I know I may end up failing too, but I know you were just like me, with someone disappointed in you. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this. All I want to do is be more like me and be less like you. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Tired of being what you want me to be. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Tired of being what you want me to be.
I can feel the magic floating in the air. Being with you gets me that way. I watch the sunlight dance across your face, and I've never been this swept away. All my thoughts just seem to settle on the breeze when I'm lying wrapped up in your arms. The whole world just fades away, and the only thing I hear is the beating of your heart. And I can feel you breathe, it's washing over me. And suddenly I'm melting into you. There's nothing left to prove. Baby, all we need is just to be caught up in the touch, slow and steady rush. Baby, isn't that the way that love's supposed to be? I can feel you breathe. As all the walls come tumbling down, closer than I've ever felt before. And I know, and just breathe. I can feel the magic floating in the air. Being with you gets me that way.
Now I'd like to invite Ferg's uncle Brett to come and do a tribute. Thanks, Brett.
Sometimes we need a little bit of assistance. I just want to share a few memories of Jason, and he's better known to me as just plain and simply Fergs, on the family farm at Mella. As we've seen on the slides here, he was a snowy-headed little fellow. Enjoyed playing in the mud near the cow shed with his Tonka trucks and the hooning on his Pee-wee 50 motorbike. Playing in the calf pens, riding on their backs, which led to trying out at rodeos in later years. As years went by, Ferg became a chip off the old block, like Leon, interested in breeding of cows, growing grass and all aspects of running a farm. When Jason left school, he took on a 4-year farming apprenticeship at Burnie TAFE, where he was away from the farm for periods of time. At TAFE, he learnt many lifelong skills: fencing, welding, use of a chainsaw, safety, etc., and did very well. For Fergs, it wasn't all work and no play when he bought himself a Banshee 4-wheeler motorbike, but he wasn't satisfied with the standard suspension, so he rebuilt to suit himself. Ferg stepped up to help on the farm and took responsibility at a young age. A time arose when he missed going on a canoe trip, but was happy to stay at the farm to milk for his dad when the workers didn't turn up. When they finally did come, Ferg told them bluntly, "You're no longer required." When the neighbouring property was purchased, Ferg was more than willing to work hard to help his dad establish a farm with fencing, putting in trows and clearing it to be productive. On many family gatherings and birthdays, Ferg used to love joining in with farm talk, herd recording, fertiliser applications and much more. He achieved much. Ferg was a lovable larrikin, will be greatly missed. Yep, rest in peace.
Thanks, Brett. Next up, we're going to hear from Ferg's brother-in-law, Corey Wilson, who's going to share a bit more about his mining and working life. Thanks, Corey.
Hi, I'm Corey. Over the last 9 years, I've had the privilege not only being Jason's brother-in-law, yet one of his closest mates. We would touch base most days, exchanging stories about work, life. He'd tell me all about the jobs and projects he was involved in, and I always enjoyed hearing about the creative and innovative ways he would approach challenging tasks. Today I want to pay tribute to Jason's dedication to his work. He was diligent, conscientious, and always put in the necessary effort to achieve his goals. Originally a fitter by trade, once his exceptional welding skills become known, he more than often took on boilermaker tasks as well. As we all know, Jace has a deep love for the farm life, and that early experience played a key role in shaping his career. In 2009, Jace and his family moved to Launceston, where he secured a job with James Bogues and Son in the purchasing and stores. It wasn't long before Jace was offered a fitter and turner apprenticeship. Although it was a tough decision, especially since he needed to support his young family, taking the apprenticeship marked a pivotal moment in his career. When work slowed at the end of his apprenticeship, Jace moved his young family back to Barmer in South Australia, where he had connections with Kingston's estate wines. His time in South Australia was brief. By late 2016, Jace and his family had relocated back to Smithton. He found work with Greenman's, performing farmhand and maintenance tasks. By early 2007, after countless discussions about mining, Jace decided to take the plunge. True to form, within days, he had flights, inductions and medicals booked. His 4-year mining career in Queensland included working at various companies, performing dragline, electric rope shovel and wash plant shutdowns. In late 2018, Jason achieved one of his proudest milestones, starting his own business, Ferguson Mechanical and Labour Hire. Not long after, he shifted focus and his interstate mining career came to an end. When another opportunity presents itself locally at Greenham's Westmore, as Ferguson Mechanical grew, his services were in high demand for dairy irrigation installations as well as in-field maintenance projects. Jace travelled all over Tasmania to complete these tasks. In mid-2022, Jason joined GBE Maintenance Services, where he took part in many shutdowns at Hellier Gold Mine, Savage River, Port Ladder, MMG Rosebery, before landing an even-time roster with Bluestone Renison Bell. Scott, Jason's current supervisor at Bluestone, Renison Bell, has shared these parting words as a testament to the lasting impact Jace had on him and his team. Jason was always a happy guy, never letting a tough job get to him. We often joked about how many tough jobs he could accomplish in a single day. There were times when I joked about firing him because he had so many tasks completed in one day that he needed 2 timesheets. It always brought laughter. Jace took pride in daily inspections and checks he did. He became the go-to guy for the pasty plant. He always took ownership of his work and was proactive about fixing issues, even if they were out of his work scope. Everyone at Bluestone knew Jason, and he was always welcoming of new people, no matter who they worked for. He was well liked and will be missed by everyone who had the pleasure of working with him. We all remember Jason's contributions to Bluestone, and some memories will stay with us forever. We appreciate his work ethic and kindness he showed to others. I believe these words capture Jason's true character and work ethic through his working career. And the countless messages and tributes we've received over the past week truly show the impact that Jason had on everyone he worked with. We miss you already, Jace. Love you, bro.
Well done, Corey. Thank you, mate. Next up, we're going to hear from Cynthia on behalf of Carla and the Collis family.
Today it is with heavy hearts that our families share and celebrate the life of Jason, affectionately known by Ferg. As we've all said, a husband, father, uncle and brother-in-law. Each of our family members have written some fond memories to express in love today. We would, as a family, thank each and every one of you here today for attending and showing empathy, love and care for Carla, Jasmine, Maddie and extended family. How would Gavin and I describe Ferg? Cheeky, daredevil, cool uncle to our boys, talented fabricator and could tell a pretty good story, probably stretched sometimes. He loved his fast cars, motorbikes and watching the sprint cars at the speedway. As a family, we attended the odd meets with him. A few special memories have flooded back over the last week, which has brought comfort and appreciation for the time spent with Ferg and the family. The first memory I would like to share is a way back when Ferg first came into our lives. Our family, Gavin, myself, Ryland, Aidan, Mum and Dad and Carla, headed off in our caravans for a holiday on the mainland. Carla was very quiet and a bit withdrawn as we arrived at Ashley Gardens Caravan Park in Melbourne. She was starting to realise that the weeks of separation from Jason was going to be too hard to bear. As evening came, there was a sniffling sound coming from the van. Then a little boy's voice say, "Are you missing Jason, Carla?" Well, Gavin heard this and proceeded to grab Aidan by the hand and give him a good talking to about not being sensitive towards Carla and her feelings. Carla sobbed and cried, so the phone call was made to Jason, asking if he'd like to join us on the trip. Fortunately, he was able to have some time off work and we flew him over to meet us, I think the next evening. Dad, Gavin and Aidan picked him up from the airport and the rest is history. We all had the best trip and I think my boys were stoked to have Ferg on the trip too. Time spent in Launceston when Ferg and Carla lived there was so precious to us. We were so grateful for Ferg and Carla boarding Ryland in his early years of uni. It brought comfort to Gavin and myself knowing he had a loving, caring family to look out for him, even though I think they may have got up to some mischief. When Carla and Jason were living in Brisbane, our family decided that we would surprise them and decided that we would buy a camper trailer and head up just before Christmas. We had such a great time with them, as well as Dad and Mum who were also there. Ali also had Christmas with us that year. It was tough for us as a family to say goodbye when Ferg and Carla both headed away, but we were excited for them both, making special memories together, exploring and working on the Big Island. When Ferg and Carla moved back to Launceston and settled in, we were over the moon and so excited to hear they were having a baby. I remember so clearly going to visit Jasmine in hospital and watching Jason bath her. His face was beaming with tenderness and unconditional love for his beautiful baby girl. Gavin and I spent many weeks in Launceston and had the blessing of watching Jazz grow and of lots of cuddles and kisses. A few years later, once again, Ferg and Carla were blessed with another gorgeous girl, Maddie. When Ferg and Carla moved back to Smithton, Ferg would pop around on Friday nights for a chat, debriefing on his week, give me my regular dose of him winding me up and me being sucked in to giving him the reaction he wanted, a sister-in-law's mouthful. But even after my mouthful of growling him, he still kept coming back. I think I used to make his day. I always knew when Ferg was home from his work stints away, that Mercedes V8 seemed to find another note when he would rumble it up over John Street and along Carnac Court. I must say, it does sound sweet. Finally, the most precious memory that will be with Gavin and I was a couple of weeks ago when we celebrated Dad and Mum's 60th wedding anniversary as a family. Jason sat at the table with both of us, and it was so nice to chat and have a laugh. He made mention of Alfie, our newest grandchild, and how much he looked like Aidan. It was the first time he had seen him. I know from the look on Jason's face how much he adored him. We as a family will miss you, Ferg, and will always cherish the special times we shared with you. Though gone from sight, never from our hearts. Rest peacefully, Jason, Ferg. I'd like to read something from my parents, Rex and Melvie, Jason's mother and father-in-law. Our first memory of Jason was his long baggy trousers that were about a foot too long for him. They would drag on the ground, ratty and torn through. My first thought was I need to hem them up for him, but I soon realised that was Jason's fashion and it grew on us. Jason had a V8 Commodore when he met Carla. At first, she wasn't allowed in his car, but he could walk her home from church at night. Years later, we learned that he took her down the street for a ride before walking her home. We were a little bit concerned when she went in his car, but Leon assured me he was a reliable boy and would not do anything silly. Yeah, right. But we won't mention Jason and Wayne Tuxworth up Faze Lane burning rubber in that Commodore, filming it with my video camera. Jason shared a love for camping, fishing, campfires and all the outdoors. He bought himself a small van he named Ferg. He decided to come camping with our family at Peg's Beach and was so excited to sleep in his precious little van. Mum made curtains and we fixed it up to make it comfortable for him and to keep the cold out, but it was short-lived. It got too cold for Jason. We got a tap on the door early hours of the morning. It was Jason with his pillow looking for a bed. This was not the only time Jason tapped on our caravan door. Some years later, we were camping with Jason and Carla in Hobart. Joy decided to sleep in Jason and Carla's caravan on the floor. Through the night, Jason and Carla were woken by a loud snoring. They put up with it for as long as they could, then grabbed the pillows and came knocking at our caravan door. Joy awoke the next morning, still unaware they had gone, staying still and quiet so she did not wake them. Eventually, late in the morning, she sat up, and much to her surprise, they were not there. There was a highlight for Jason and a story that he loved to share. When we were pregnant with Carla, this is my mum, the boy's name we had picked out was Jason. In the end, we ended up with our Jason. He completed our family, which we were truly thrilled. We have lots of great memories of Jason, and he was a special part of our life. We loved you, Jason, unconditionally. We will miss you. You will forever be in our hearts. Love, Mum and Dad. This is my son, Rylan, our eldest son. Growing up, some of my best memories were down at the beach with the cousins, racing our bikes as fast as we could. We would spend hours building jumps out of whatever we could find, like sand and driftwood, anything that would send us flying. And, of course, Uncle Ferg would be there, watching, laughing and just enjoying the time with us. I always loved that we shared similar interests, whether it was playing the drums, mountain biking when I was living in Launceston, or heading to the driving range to hit a few golf balls. I'll never forget our time in Queensland, where we might have got the golf clubs out to help move a couple of cane toads. One of the biggest things I'll always be thankful for is the time Uncle Ferg and Auntie Carla took me in during my first year of uni. They made me feel at home, showed me love and kindness, and I will forever appreciate that. Uncle Ferg had a sense of humour like no one else. His out there jokes were always made us laugh, even when we weren't quite sure if he was serious or not. But that was Uncle Ferg, always making you wonder what he was going to come out with next. I will miss him deeply, but I'll always hold our memories close. Thank you, Uncle Ferg, for the laughs, the lessons, and the love. Rest easy. This is from our youngest son, Aidan, to Uncle Ferg. Growing up, we only lived a few 100 metres away from Jason and Carla, which unfortunately for them meant that I would turn up to try and claim some custard cups or Musashi drinks that Jason had got from working at Classic Foods. As most of you know, Jason had an illustrious career in bull riding. This seed was sown a few years prior to this when I wandered over to Jason and Carla's with a DVD that I got for Christmas called Bodacious, the Master of Disaster. We watched this movie, not much was said. A time had passed. I head back across to Jason and Carla's with another bull riding flick. This time it was Fearless on Netflix, which followed the professional bull riding in America. This had us pretty pumped up, and little did I know that this sparked a desire for Jason to dive deep into the world of bull riding. Jason's career was thankfully not a long one, but man did he show some courage to hop on the back of something that could do a lot of damage. I remember when Carla sent through a video of him at the practice day when he come off, I thought, man, what the heck are you doing? His most famous ride was at the Smithton Rodeo aboard a red baldy. The ride was short but sweet and will go down in Smithton Rodeo folklore. We had many memories farming at Westmore. The key one was when we carved down 900 synced beef heifers. Barely showered for weeks, had 4 hours sleep a night in wet, windy conditions. I remember sitting in the gator buggy with Ferg at 4:30 a.m. one morning after being up all night waiting for a vet, talking about how good bed would have been at this point. That period of farm life was something that both Ferg and I continue to talk about years after. You will be missed dearly. Thanks for the memories, Ferg. This is from his younger sister-in-law, Catherine, and his nieces Eden and Peyton. They have a lot of great memories of Jason. I had the opportunity to work with him on the farm we were share farming on in the early days. Our job was to cut our cows out of the runoff block and run them back to the farm. We were a pretty good team. The boys really enjoyed having Jason around as he was so engaged and interested in what they were up to. Regan loved to ride on the bike with him to get the cows in or any chance he could be with him and help. I think he was quite entertained by the boys' antics, especially Gibber. One time when getting the cows to the shed, someone forgot to shut the gate to the effluent catchment. We ended up with one of the cows in it up to its neck. I think it was a tractor job to get her out in the end. We were both pretty stressed about telling Chook when he got home from work. Myself, Eden and Peyton would often stay in Lonnie with Jason, Carla and their girls in the school holidays. Uncle Jason was not short on entertaining us. This is where he started calling Peyton Paintbrush, and it stuck. Jason was there to help out when something needed fixing or your car needed a service. He would set up fishing lines so I could take my girls fishing, and happy to let my girls tag along on family bike rides. We will miss you, Jason, and my birthday buddy. They both have the same birthday. We are blessed having him as a loving uncle and brother-in-law. And this one, last one from this side of this family. On behalf, this is from Regan and Caleb, his nephews. Our memories of Uncle Ferg will forever be something cherished throughout our lives. We sometimes boarding of whether we were uncle and nephew or just mates, as age was no barrier at times. The nicknames and torment that stuck with Caleb as nicknames went from bucketball, from bad pronunciation and outfits, to liver that progressed to the gibber we know today. Yes, Caleb's nicknames were generally formed from torment or stirring up from Jason. Whilst I, Regan, have great memories throughout my adult life through karting, speedway conversations, banter or just nights away in Launceston, the memories we share are the ones of our childhood. Jason was the cool uncle, sorry to my other uncles. He had the Tirana, the SS, the Banshee, the Big M's from Classic Foods that we would sneak in and steal whilst he was on night shift with a quick read of the latest Auto Action magazine, and a drum kit with more cymbals than any child could bash, but under one rule, do not touch the drum set. One day, heavens knows only why, Caleb and I were being looked after by the ever so mature and responsible Jason. We would have been around 7 and 10, I reckon. What could we do on this day? Jason had a new paddock basher, a HQ Kingswood. It is at this point family members are first hearing this story as we were sworn to secrecy. And I was itching to learn how to drive. There off we went, out to the Quinn's property at South Forest with the three of us rallying this HQ Kingswood. Caleb crabby that he was not allowed to drive, me grinning from ear to ear, and the fear and sheer excitement of watching Uncle Ferg rally this fine piece of motoring machinery to within an inch of its life right before our eyes. We know those times are gone, but our memories will always remain. Rest easy, mate. Maddie? Maddie would like to share something as well to her dad.
To Dad, it is hard for me to say goodbye. I miss that twinkle in your eyes. I'll always be proud to call you Dad, the best friend a daughter could ever have. With breaking heart I held you, although I loved you, Dad. I cannot make you stay. I love you, Dad, and that will never change. I loved how you were always so bright and positive about everything. I love you and miss you, and I wish you good luck in heaven.
Girl. Well done. Jasmine has asked me to read a poem for her. Dad, it's a special bond that spans the years, through laughter, worries, smiles and tears, a sense of trust that can't be broken, a depth of love sometimes unspoken, a lifelong friendship built on sharing, hugs and kisses, warmth and caring, father and daughter, their hearts as one, a link that can never be undone. Beautiful, Jasmine. Got one more. Sorry. It's a real blessing to share our memories as a family. This one will be my toughest, and I pray that I get through it. This is from Carla. It is hard for me to find the words to express what Jason meant to me. He was my comfort, my provider. When I was with him, I felt safe and protected. He was my biggest supporter and encouraged me to step out of my comfort zone, especially when we travelled. I admired his strength and courage and will forever miss the sound of his voice. He was so talented and could fix anything he put his mind to. Life will never be the same. I will miss his big warm hugs, his twirling of my hair, and our quality time together. My love for him will never cease. It is unconditional, unbreakable. I love you, Jason, and miss you forever. Your loving wife, Carla.
Well done, Cynthia. Did an excellent job. Well done. Last of all, before we finish up, we're going to see another photo montage. So, again, a testament to Ferg and the impact he's had on so many people. And we'll just watch this photo montage before we conclude.
You don't need no friends. Get back your faith again. You have the power to believe. Another dissident. Take back your evidence. It has no power to deceive. I believe it when I see it for myself. I don't need no one to tell me about heaven. I look at my daughter and I believe. I don't need no proof when it comes to God and truth. I can see the sunset and I can see. Sit with them all night. Everything they say is right, but in the morning they were wrong. I'll be right by your side, come hell or water high, down any road you choose to run. I believe it when I see it for myself. I don't need no one to tell me about heaven. believe. I don't need no proof. When it comes to God and truth, I can see the sunset and I perceive. I don't need no one to tell me about heaven. I look in my daughter and I believe. I don't need no proof. When it comes to God and truth, I can see the sunset. I can see the sunset. I can see the sunset. I don't need no one. I don't need no one. I don't need no one. I don't need no one to tell me about
Oh, the boy! Where is he? The world's fastest chihuahua. Yes, Chester! That's my boy. Yeah, Daddy boy.
I could stay awake just to hear you breathing. Watch you smile while you are sleeping, while you're far away and dreaming. I could spend my life in this sweet surrender. I could stay lost in this moment forever. Every moment spent with you is a moment I treasure. Don't wanna close my eyes, I don't wanna fall asleep, 'cause I miss you, baby, and I don't wanna miss a thing. 'Cause even when I dream of you,
So that concludes our service for today, celebrating the life of Jason Ferguson. Thank you all for coming on behalf of the family. And in a moment, we're going to do one of Jason's final wishes, and we're going to make a toast. On the bar up the back there is a plethora of his favourite beers, Carlton Dry, and you're invited to grab one of those, and we'll make a toast to Jason in a few minutes' time. Thanks for coming.